How's it going, everyone? I'm Louis Crypto, and today we have so much news to dive into. Bitcoin's huge bullish signal, a scary bearish pattern that could be about to play out and drag all altcoins lower, and my top picks for the next altcoin season. A lot to dive into today, so we will split it up between the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe on both social media platforms to stay up to date with all things crypto. Now let's start off with the good. Bitcoin has printed a huge bullish signal that cannot be underestimated. Here we see that Bitcoin has not only printed a bullish cross, but after that cross, actually getting that continuation higher. So for me personally, that means that the next move is a new all-time high for Bitcoin. 85k is next, and here is why. If I were to now place the Fibonacci's on this entire dip that we've just had from the top to the bottom, now the reason why I am confident that the next move is a new all-time high is because of what I said at the beginning of May, all the way down here at 56k, when we actually lost the low of the range, 59,000 US dollars. What happened down over here is when you lose a low, you're turning into a downtrend. But we need to see the follow through. Also, another factor that could hinder the potential downtrend is that the 200 EMA on the daily time frame signals your bottom, and as all the price action is occurring above this point, it's a bullish correction. So trying to find those bottoming out structures, and that's what we got right down over here. Although we broke down, made a new lower low, then a lot of people would say this is a newly formed downtrend, but there are a lot of confirmations that are needed. First of all, after losing the low, we cannot reclaim it, and that's exactly what happened the direct next day. Not only did we reclaim it, but we never lost it again. And from all of these signals down over here, with the loss and the reclaim, this was good enough for me to tell everyone, to signal to everyone that we would continue higher and eventually put in a new all-time high. We have been yet to do so, but I was saying these exact things at 56k, and we now find ourselves at 69,000, peaking out a few days ago at 71, almost 72,000 US dollars. So we've been right in terms of from all the way down here at 56k, we've been calling for upside, and it has come. Over a $10,000 move. And now all we're waiting for is that final resistance. The only thing that stands in our way is at the moment, the all-time high 73.8k. That is the last resistance, guys. What is going on is that we're setting up this move. It's long and boring because after this resistance is cleared and flipped into support, there's nothing else in the way. We'll go into price discovery mode, and that's what leads on to why I was believing in 85,000 US dollars. It comes from this Fibonacci, and just before we lead on to that target, I also need to mention with the fibs, we have created the reversal wave by penetrating the 786 fib, $69,700. All that needs to happen going forward is 64k being maintained, pretty much the bullish cross, and we are looking for a break of the all-time high, with our targets being, as you can see over here, between 79, 82, and 87,000 US dollars. This is pretty much why we believe in those targets and why I mentioned it to you guys. When we are breaking out of resistances and making new highs, we expect to create a low that's higher than the last. And we can see that we're pretty much creating that low right over here on the previous resistance now as support, waiting for the final resistance to break before the continuation to those targets right up there. And yeah, that will be very nice, dragging up all those altcoins. I will lead on to which altcoins I am holding for this upcoming altcoin season, but we need to look at the negative notes, the potential negative notes that we see on the chart at the moment if things don't play out exactly how we want. And this is what now leads me on to the potential bad news. The micro and the macro double top. The only thing the bears can cling on to is that at the moment we've now formed a top over here, which was a bullish breakout in the first place, and all that needs to happen, as I mentioned, is 64k needs to hold. But when we came down to the previous resistance, we did confirm it as support, which is bullish, but we need to see the continuation to break the high. And what happened as soon as we got to the same exact location? Equal highs. So now a lot of people are talking about a double top forming over here. Now it's not wrong to assume a potential double bottom is forming, but it's wrong to assume that it's a guarantee that it will play out, simply due to the fact that we are in a bull market. How do I know this? Well, we've been going up higher and higher and higher over the last year. You're seeing altcoins explode. We are also above the 200 daily EMA. Remember, this is telling you what trend you are in long term. Remember, it's a 200-day average. So if we're above this 200-day average, we're expecting month on end to continue rising higher and higher, putting us constantly at new higher highs and new higher lows. And that's exactly what we still anticipate going forward. Although, yes, there is a potential bearish formation over here. What would need to happen next is the loss of this candlestick wick right over here, which is exactly $66,289. If we see price coming back down to there, failing to break out, maybe we put in this lower high over here and start to roll over through it, then we are looking for bearish targets to the downside, this being your target right over here, roughly around 62,000. But you do understand, guys, that it's still above this. Afterwards, after mentioning all of this and showing you that even if this bearish pattern plays out, yes, it's negative short term, you're going to see altcoins continuing to bleed, which is so very annoying. And I'll talk about that in a second as well. But this would still be higher than the previous low, even if it plays out, which at the moment, I cannot assume that it will play out because we made a high over here and then a new higher high. We're just flipping it into support. So this is the pivot point to go up. We're just short-term rejecting this, pulling back to the moving averages, setting up the next move. But I have prepared you for that downside. Equally, people are saying now this is a macro double top. So I've shown you the micro one, but now people are saying there's a potential macro double top. And again, this will not play out unless you're starting to break out of the micro one, meeting its target, which is actually still higher than this low. So you're still maintaining that higher high, higher low structure, which is an uptrend structure. But the only way I could see the macro one playing out is, first of all, you have to meet the micro target. It's still bullish as it's higher than the previous low, but then we'd have to force a lower high over here and then a lower low. And this is where you start to see the huge double top. But guys, you cannot assume this is going to happen. It's foolish to do so. We've got many indications saying otherwise. This is just the only thing that the bears can actually cling on to. Remember that past this point, there is no resistance. Price discovery mode. Nothing can stop Bitcoin. So that's why it makes sense that we're caught up in a moment like this, where a lot of people do start to switch their biases and start to think bearish, all just before Bitcoin breaks out once more, bringing the biggest altcoin season in history. Message me for some one-to-one mentorship. Again, the link to the website is also down below, whether you want one-to-one mentorship, the ebook, or my Discord community. Now let's look at the ugly. Don Jim over here has shown what we've just spoken about in the bad, which is the potential double top. But you can see he's pretty much ignoring so many supports. He's just drawn a double top with a target all the way down at 50,000. It's had so many chances to get down there. Why is it now, where we're almost about to make a new all-time high, people have this way of thinking? Another part that is quite ugly is that although Bitcoin has actually moved up, we are seeing altcoins continuing down. There is a reason for this, and I will explain it. But pretty much until Bitcoin puts in that new all-time high, there isn't confidence across the whole of the crypto industry. When Bitcoin puts in that new all-time high and you see it at 74 and 75k, there's confidence throughout the whole crypto market. We've just put in a new all-time high. The bears have nothing more to add. They just need to go back in their hole pretty much and hibernate. To finish this section off, we can see Vector Prime over here taking the piss out of those people calling for the double top. And actually, as you can see, as this zooms in, there was a double top last year, pretty much majority of last year, midway through the year. It never resulted in anything. When everyone was talking about a CME gap getting filled at $19,000, we went to 74k, so 73k. So big difference with what happened with that double top. Same pattern happening at a resistance we haven't been at for 3 years. So it makes sense that we're still off in that area. when we do break out, it's going to be a monumental push, explosion that we have never seen before. It's going to be the biggest altcoin season in history, which now leads me on to that section. Now, I do believe there are multiple narratives you could be following within this bull market, but here are my top ones, and the reason being is that they have proven to bring the most amount of gains so far in this bull market. Those two narratives being the AI and the RWA narrative. Let's dive into the AI one. So for the AI narrative, I do have a whole bunch of coins. Make sure you actually look out for double narrative or triple narrative coins. These could be some of the best performing for gains up ahead. Here are my top AI coins for this next altcoin season. Now, I would love for you to go ahead and do your own research on these coins, but I do hold all 5 of these. In fact, there are more in my Discord community, but these are 5 are, in my opinion, the top AI coins. We have a whole bunch of different market caps between these 5, but Solidus AI Tech and AGI quite similar. Solidus AI Tech as well as Dilithium AGI have both done a 20x in the space of 3 months from buying it back in December. Vile in the top right corner has also done a 10x. Now let's move over to Open Fabric AI and Orange. Orange is the only Bitcoin native AI token. In fact, it does a whole bunch of things beyond AI. Go check it out. I had to include it as it's a double narrative being AI as well as in the BRC20 narrative. Moving on to Open Fabric, one of the main reasons why I wanted to get some OFN in this dip was mainly because of the amount of partnerships. Of course, we can talk about Nvidia. In fact, they just announced their earnings. But the main reason, beyond the 59 partners that it has, Solidus AI Tech is an investor in Open Fabric. I got into Solidus AI Tech underneath 20 million market cap and saw it rise to a 20x valuation. Now, the same process I'm looking to do once again with Open Fabric, grabbing it around 20 million market cap, looking to do the exact same move in this next altcoin season. Now we will look at the RWA narrative, which really did pick up towards the end of March, where we saw BlackRock and Rio partner up. Rio was a coin that I had already invested in way before any BlackRock mention. It was always one of our top 5 coins. The moment the BlackRock announcement came out, it immediately shot up to our number 1 coin. We had to jump on that train and take advantage of the situation and realize that we need to look beyond just Rio and invest in tiny market cap RWA coins. 3 that we took instant advantage of was MBD, UBXS and BKN, with the performances ranging between 150% to over 500% in a matter of 1 week, guys. It was these exact moves that propped up our accounts during this dip, only seeing a minus 45% at the lowest point of this dip for the Discord's total portfolio. Going into the next altcoin season, I have added WorkX as well as VRD. Please do understand though, if any of these underperform in the next altcoin season, they will just be part of those cryptos that I always axe and sell between every dip. So I'll let the pump finish, see what the result was in terms of percentage gains across all my cryptos, and the underperforming ones I will just move on from and look at new shiny cryptos. This is the same process we used to get into BKN, MBD and UBXS. We had already seen a 10x on Nakamoto Games and Trias Lab, but we decided because they had gone stale, there was FUD on KuCoin, we wanted to take advantage of the RWA narrative and we sold our Trias and Naka after a 10x. Thank you for the gains, but we moved on, and within the space of 7 days, that 10x turned into 40x because of the cryptos we bought with that money, which were these 3 exact: BKN, MBD, and UBXS. If you want to follow along with my personal moves, check out the Discord community as I mentioned earlier. But that is it from me today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please don't forget on your way out to follow me on all social media platforms. We're trying to hit 3.5k on Twitter and 10k over here on YouTube. More videos like these will follow, so let me know in the comment section if you did enjoy this new format, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.